1982, Jace. What is significant about the year 1982 in your world? I know you probably weren't even born then. When were you born?
2002.
2002.
20 years after that.
Holy smokes. 20 years after that? That puts things in perspective. I'm going to tell you what's special about that year. The year I was born. And it was easy for me to do the math when I heard this little factoid come out of the British Open this past weekend. It is the first time in 42 years that we've seen an entire sweep of all of the majors from the American crew.
I wonder who won it. Do you know who won it back then?
I have no idea. They gave the names, and I'm not going to go fact check that stuff.
We know it was Americans.
I just know that it's been 42 years since Americans won all 4 majors in a year. Now, here's the big question of the hour. Been going on the social media platforms, people have been talking, hey, is Xander Schauffele having a better year than Scottie Scheffler? Because Xander's got 2 majors now, and Scottie only has 1. 6 wins, including a major, the Masters, versus 2 major championships. What would you choose?
I would choose 2 majors, because then you're up there with the greats. You're up there with Jack, you're up there with Tiger. I mean, 6 wins is impressive, but 2 majors, I mean, come on. What are you going to be remembered for, majors or wins?
So Brooks Koepka says that people only remember you for the majors, right? But listen, I don't know about you, but I love to win. I love to win. And if I get 6 wins under my belt, I feel like that's a very productive year. And I can tell you this right now. I know a lot of you at home are probably like, well, 6 wins and 25 or $30 million or whatever. I'm going to go ahead and say this with a great deal of confidence. I can assure you that they're not concerned about the money aspect as much as you might think. So getting the wins is a good thing. So let us know in the comments below what you guys think. Would you rather have 6 wins in a major or just 2 major championships? I think I'm going to go with 6 wins in a major. I know that's probably not going to be a crowd favorite, but you know what? Winning is winning. Vin Diesel said that. You ever seen Vin Diesel? Let's talk about what we're going to do today. Today, we are inside the lab because it's Tour Pro Tuesday, and we are going to be analyzing Bryson DeChambeau, Xander Schauffele, and Scottie Scheffler. We're going to be showing you how different these guys swing the golf club. In fact, I think it's probably pretty safe to say if you put these 3 guys 500 yards away from you and had them hit balls, you could probably tell who is who just by the way that they move. Why? Well, because they're just like you. They have their own golf DNA. They have some common characteristics that they share amongst them, but if you look at their golf swings, you can tell that there's a very big difference in how they get the job done. But there's one key move that separates elite ball strikers from the people that struggle in the game of golf. This one key move is done by all 3 players magnificently. Getting the hands and the arms in the right spot in the downward half and getting the hands and arms to move really fast as they start to work down into your delivery is the key to your success. And it can be done many different ways. Are you guys ready to take this ride? If you are brand new to the channel and you have not yet subscribed, maybe you have been hanging out on the channel for a while, then do us a big favor, subscribe to the channel and make sure you turn on your bell notifications. And if you like today's video, please do us a big favor and hit the thumbs up. It's good for our psyche. It makes Jason and I feel good about ourselves. If you have any questions or comments, please feel free to post that up below. And the good news is that later on in the week, we have a new drill coming in your direction that's going to teach you how to support the club properly, because we know a lot of you at home struggle with vertical wrist set. A lot of you. When we start looking at the preliminary swings when you're getting started with us, most of you miss this function, and it sets off a very negative chain reaction of events in your golf swing and almost makes it impossible for you to move into the acceleration zone just like you're about to see here today. Let's go ahead and get started. When you watch these 3 golf swings from beginning to end, Scottie on the right, Xander in the middle, Bryson on the far left, as I said, you're going to see a very big difference with the way that they swing the golf club. But one of the things that they do very well, and all elite ball strikers do, is they start to change the direction of the golf swing, starting the downswing before the backswing is complete. And they do that by shifting the center of mass a significant amount in front of where the golf ball is. Let's watch Scottie first on the far right-hand side of the screen. So you're going to see that he has got his center of mass turned in behind the golf ball so we can measure it from kind of the navel area down to the belt buckle. And what you'll see here is in transition, even with that camera moving a little bit, you can tell that it has moved a substantial amount out in front of the golf ball. Now we watch Bryson on the left-hand side of the screen with a driver in his hands. We mark his center of mass, and then we're going to go ahead and start that moving in transition. And here we are with it significantly amount in front of where the golf ball is. Now look at Xander. So look at that belt buckle and watch in transition. That's a lot of movement, right? It's a lot of horizontal movement when you look at it from a face-on perspective. But that movement needs to happen in the golf swing. And there's a lot of things that go into that movement in order for it to be done right. You will see some vertical drop of the head. You will see a lot of players with their lead side flank in a very upright position. That's ensuring us that the upper body has moved back into position. But you'll also notice one very big characteristic with every single player out there. As they start to shift their center of mass to change the direction, is that there's an increase in angle when the lead arm is parallel to the ground between the club shaft and their forearms. If you look at Scotty here at 9 o'clock, and you look at it on the way back, you can see that he's got the club out away from his body. He's out in this neck of the woods, and that angle is increased. Now, every one of you at home want lag in your golf swing. You want to have it. You hear us golf instructors talk about it way too much. And lag is extremely important for your ability to be able to have leverage and turn that into speed. But most of you try to get lag by creating an added arm function, folding up your trail arm way too much, adding extra wrist set. And when you look at all three of these players, they are staying incredibly wide through the swing shape, incredibly wide. And as they get into the position where their body has stopped its turn, this is where that moving into the lead side and shifting that center of mass allows you to start narrowing the swing shape without really having to create some sort of active function in the arms. Look at Scotty, look at Bryson, now look at Xander. You're going to learn how to do that. Now, let's take a look at this from a down the line perspective. We're going to do this with Bryson from down the line, and we're going to do it from Xander Schauffele down the line as well. When you look at Bryson's backswing position, it's actually very comparable, believe it or not, to what you would see of Scotty Scheffler. You see their right elbow gets up and away from him at the top of the swing. You see a very high hand and arm position. But what you're going to notice here is as we start to make that initial transition into the lead side, is that you will see all elite ball strikers, not only with their center of mass in front of the golf ball, and with the narrowness from a face-on perspective starting to show up, but you will see all elite ball strikers with their knuckles very close to being directly in line with the sternum. That's right. Where the lead hand is in this position, whether it's further out in front or further in behind or right here in the sweet spot, is what a lot of you struggle with. Not getting your hands and your arms into the correct position and moving through the correct position to set up your delivery. Now looking at Xander, who's got a completely different backswing, a much shorter backswing, with a right elbow that's in a very different spot, what you're going to notice here is exactly what you're going to see with Bryson. So lead arm is now parallel to the ground. We can see that these knuckles are right in line with the sternum. This is the window that you want to start moving into. And as I said, most of you don't get to this spot because of some improper shoulder function, some improper arm function. Allowing your arms to more or less get pulled down into this position is what sets the tone for the rest of the downswing. And every single one of you is capable of being able to move into and through this spot if you understand what sort of wrist and arm functions need to take place in the swing shape. You want arm elevation. You want vertical wrist set, not horizontal wrist set. We're going to discuss the differences between those two later on in the next video. That vertical wrist set and that vertical movement that you create with the arms is what we would consider steep. Steep, steep, steep. Everybody gets scared of that word. But you have to remember that your hips and your body are doing what? Well, they're rotating. That's what's adding the depth to the swing. That's offsetting that vertical nature of movement. So if you can learn how to support the club properly inside of your body's functions, and you learn how to change the direction of the golf swing properly, then you're going to be setting yourself up for a downswing that's ready for success. You're going to see more lag, and you're going to feel what it's like to be able to produce real effortless power. We'll see you guys in the next video.